Hello, friends. Welcome. This is a yoga flow that is designed to really help you choose your intention for this flow. We've been talking a bit about choice lately in our Centering Circles community. And one of the things that I've noticed, if we've gone through an experience of overwhelm, or if we're working through trauma recovery in our lives and we find those stuck points, those trigger points throughout our day, we can feel a sense of not in choice sometimes. And one of the beautiful things about yoga, the way that we move the spine in all different directions in yoga, is that movement is a way to communicate to our nervous system, I have choice. And setting intentions before our practice is also a way to grow our experience with our inner voice, checking in, what do I need right now? Letting our body tell us that. And then actively bringing that into experience that we have. So the more that we do that, we nurture our muscle of trust in our inner voice, in our ability to choose. So we'll be exploring that today. I invite you to have a couple of things with you to support your practice. If you have a blanket nearby, we'll use that for our last pose. And if you have some lotion with you, we're going to be doing a little bit of self-massage during part of the practice. So grab some lotion if you have it, and have some comfy clothes that feel good to move around in. We'll be ending the pose with a restorative heart pose where we'll be resting for a few moments, and you might want to have some socks for that last pose to keep your feet nice and warm. So with that in mind, I want to invite you to come to a comfortable seat and we can get started. I am sitting on the floor with my legs crossed in a seated position. If that's comfortable for you, you can join me in that position. Otherwise, feel free to sit in a chair if that's more comfortable, or sit on the edge of your bed and maybe have your blanket underneath your feet supporting you, or even have your blanket behind your back if you need some support there. And we'll settle in again to our space. This practice is for you. Thank you for taking time for your self-care. And as we arrive here, however your body wants to sit, I want to invite you to take a few breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Again, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Letting your hands rest or roam however they want to on your body. And allow your sit bones to become a little bit heavier. Let them sink down into the floor, into the surface underneath you. And notice if that has any natural impact on your upper body. Maybe your chest wants to lift a little bit. Feeling that solid support underneath you. You might feel yourself naturally drawing some energy up from the ground underneath you through your contact with the ground. And let that energy just rise. Let that lift you up. And I want to invite you to take a moment to listen to your inner voice for a word for this practice that you want to bring in for your experience. Any intention that comes up for you, you can trust it. The word that is coming up for me is satisfied. My body wants to just use this time to really feel satisfied. And once you have your word, I want to invite you to take your lotion if you have it and just drop a dab of it onto your hands. Lotion up your hands. Noticing the energy that's in your hands and see if you can bring the energy from your word that came to you into your hands. And let's take our right thumb and draw some circles in our left palm with our thumb. Nice and firm and also tender. Taking those circles one direction and then the other direction. And then maybe gently squeezing your whole left hand with your right hand all the way up to the fingertips. Taking in the scent of your lotion. And let's take that care to our right hand. Let's take our left thumb and draw some circles, nice and firm, nice and tender, into the palm of our right hand. For most of us, our hands work so hard every day, every time we're writing, every time we're typing on our phones or our computers. Our hands can cramp up sometimes, and so we're pausing to give them some love, give them some care. Go ahead and switch directions with your thumb circles when you're ready. And then take that nice gentle squeeze all the way through that right hand, up into the fingertips. And maybe rub your hands together. Maybe do some wrist rolls, letting your arms get involved, even letting your shoulders get involved. And switching directions. You might feel some heat coming into your arms a little bit. Great job. You can release your hands back down to your thighs. Maybe rub your thighs gently forward and down. And another area of our body that really appreciates this kind of care with touch tends to be our neck. We hold tension in our neck, most of us, and we know our vagus nerve is really active in our neck, and we want to care for our vagus nerve. So let's take our fingertips to the base of our neck, and almost like you're giving yourself a head massage, kind of back in your neck, let's draw the fingertips from the base of the neck up into the bottom of your head. And if it feels comfortable, if it feels stable, allow your head to kind of rest into your hands as they travel up. Let your head slide a little bit from right to left as you massage. Allow this to feel like a dance. Letting your breath even dance with the movement. Noticing in this movement, how does your breath want to breathe right now? You can take your hands anywhere your body is asking, maybe the sides of your neck or around the ears. Maybe to the tops of the shoulders. Touch is such a simple but powerful way that we can give ourselves love and connection. When you feel satisfied, you can go ahead and rest your hands down just on the tops of your thighs. Bringing our attention back to that word that we chose. Let's bring it into our hands again, and let's reach our arms up over our head. If it feels comfortable, bring the hands to touch. And lower the hands back down. Imagining that we're filling our whole space around our body with this word, with this intention. Reaching the arms up and bringing them back down, making a circle around our bodies with our arms. And you can go at your own pace, reaching, touching at the top, and lowering. You can follow my pace, or you can go a little bit faster or a little bit slower. We'll take a few rounds of these, inviting in some smoothness into the arms, like they're ribbons just dancing in the air around us. And take one or two more of these at your own pace. Notice how your shoulders are feeling, how your chest is feeling as we create this space in the body. And you can rest your hands back down on your knees when you're done. Let's take our left palm and bring it down to your side. I'm going to mirror you and point your fingers away from you and rest your body weight, lean a little bit into your left side. And let's just get comfortable here with bending the elbows, supporting our top weight on this arm. And when you're ready, let's reach your opposite arm up over your head, drawing a half circle with that top arm while we're leaning into our supporting arm. And again, at your own pace, Like you're that ribbon again, just blowing in the wind. Allow your body to just find a smooth way in, back and forth into this position. Allowing your right side body to open and stretch here. Beautiful job. You can bring that top arm down and shake it out a little bit. And then let's plant that arm down. So this is your right arm. And let's just take a few pulses to support our weight on this right side. Leaning and straightening, and leaning and straightening. And when you're ready, lean down and reach that left arm up and over and back and up and over. Noticing how your body feels on this side as your left side body is opening. Letting the arm move in the direction that it wants to move. And feeling that nice supportive base from your bottom arm. And keeping your sit bones nice and planted on the floor. And let's take a few movements back and forth from your right to left side now. Just opening both sides of the body. Filling your whole space around your body with the energy that you choose, quality that you want to embody, to be around. Wonderful. You can rest your hands again back on your knees when you're done. And let's take a few gentle twists back and forth. You might give yourself a hug while we do this. You might bring opposite hands to the tops of your shoulders if that's comfortable, or you might even extend your arms like you're hugging somebody in front of you. Find your comfortable place. And then let's gently twist to the right, allowing the head to follow, and twist to the left. Back to center, twist to the right. And twist to the left. Twist to the right. Letting your body tell you where your edge is, where it wants to stop. And find your rhythm here in this back and forth. If you want to pause on one side, you're welcome to do that. Notice how this twist is squeezing your obliques, your side belly muscles, your shoulder muscles, maybe even squeezing down into your hips. It's so good for the spine to move it in all different directions. It keeps it nice and healthy, nice and flexible. Helps keep our mind flexible too. Awesome. You can take some shoulder rolls if that feels good to you. And you can rest. Again, come back to center. We're going to lie down now on our backs. Now that we've really cared for our arms and our spine, we're going to take that into our legs. So coming down on our backs, you can have your blanket underneath you to support your head if you'd like. And take a moment When you find your way to your back and find your knees pointed up toward the ceiling, your feet planted on the ground, take a moment to pause and just notice how you're feeling in this shape. How does your headspace feel? How do your shoulders and chest and belly feel after those movements? And from here, let's bring our knees into the chest as much as they want to come in. And you can give your knees a hug if that feels good, or even the backs of your thighs a hug if that's more comfortable. Each of us is going to land a little bit differently depending on our body shape and range. And I want to invite you just to let your body rock from side to side here, massaging your lower back. You can stay here if you'd like, or you can raise your feet straight up in the air from here with your knees still bent as much as they want to be. And you can spread your legs as wide as they want to go here. We're coming into happy baby pose. This is a very restorative pose for our lower back and for our pelvis as well. You can rest your hands on the insides of your knees, or you can bring your hands up to touch the tops of your feet if that's comfortable. And from here, let's just draw some circles with our feet. And take some nice, deep breaths. If you've got your lotion nearby and you can reach your feet comfortably, this is a lovely, lovely opportunity to massage your feet. So feel free, if that's available to you, to give your feet some loving touch here. Squeezing the toes, running your fingers from the tops to the heels of your feet, back and forth. Maybe sending your feet some gratitude for holding you up every day. The strength that it takes them to do that is pretty incredible. Maybe coming into the inside arches of your feet. And maybe even rolling the ankles a little bit, like we did our wrists earlier, to get them some fresh blood flow. Beautiful job. When you're ready, you can lower the feet back down. You can even stretch your legs out and maybe let your hips shimmy a little bit from side to side. Taking any organic movements here. If you came into this practice really sensing, oh, there's this part of my body that really needs some care right now, I want to invite you to take any movements. Maybe your favorite yoga pose, or maybe your body's just naturally going to tell you, oh, this feels really good. Some twists from side to side, maybe. And getting into parts of our body that maybe just don't often get a lot of attention, and let's see if we can bring them that energy that we've been cultivating with our word today. The beautiful thing about accessible yoga to me is that there's no right or wrong movement. We're not doing this for how it looks. We're really doing this for our inner experience. What makes my body happy? What makes my body feel seen? And when you're done, I want to invite all of us to land together back into constructive rest, back in that place where our feet are on the floor, knees pointing up, and keeping our left leg down on the floor. I want to invite you to bring your right leg up into the chest with your knee bent. And let's take a few bellows breaths here. So on the inhale, let's release the knee away from our body. And exhale, squeeze it back in. Inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze. You can hold the outside of your knee here with your hands or with a strap or a belt. Inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze. Stay at this angle, or if you want to take your knee a little bit out to the side and do some bellows breaths from this angle, feel free to do that. This will open your hip if you want to do that. Inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze. Take a few more of those at your own pace. Letting your head follow. If your head wants to turn to the same side of the knee that you're working on, feel free to do that. Notice the extra space for the breath that this movement might be allowing you to have in your belly. And you can let your active leg rest, maybe shake it out just a little bit. We'll take this now to the other side. I'm on my left side now, so whichever side you didn't do, let's care for that side. Bringing that knee into the chest as far as it wants to come, wrapping your hands or a strap around your knee for support. And let's go ahead and inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze. Taking your knee out to the side. If that feels good. And inhaling, release. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze. Take a few more of these again at your own pace, your own rhythm. Beautiful. You can bring your right knee into the chest, and let's just draw some full circles now with our knees. Allowing that opening, that fresh blood flow to come in to the hips, releasing anything we might be carrying there. Let's switch directions. Our nervous system tends to love circular movements. We're cueing to our stress responses right now. I'm not pushing you, I'm supporting you, I'm nourishing you. Letting the pelvis rock a little bit from front to back. And when your body's had enough, go ahead and rest your legs down on the floor. You can always pause these videos if there's any poses you want to take more time in. Feel free to do that. We're going to take our last pose today with our blankets, using them intentionally. Go ahead and turn it hot dog style, long ways, and put the top of it on the top of your mat, and then let it kind of fall long ways to about maybe the third point on your mat. And go ahead and sit a few inches away from the bottom of your blanket. We're going to lie over the blanket for a restorative pose. We're going to do heart pose to end our practice with. And we'll bring in a little bit of spinal breathing to support, strengthen our lungs. So all you need to do for this pose is maybe put your socks back on your feet, because your body will tend to cool when it's resting in this position. If you want to grab a second blanket, feel free to do that as well. We're going to rest in this pose. And go ahead and just let yourself lie back over the top of your blanket and try to lie so that your bottom of your ribs touch the bottom of the blanket. And so that your head is also supported on the blanket. And you can have your knees wide in this position if that's comfortable. You can support your knees underneath them with some blankets if you'd like to do that. Or you can extend your legs out long, or you can come back into constructive rest pose. So maybe play a little bit and see what feels most comfortable in your body. And rest your hands wherever they want to land, maybe on your belly or on the sides of your hips. Let your elbows sink down into the floor. Let your head rest. Allow your tongue to relax in your jaw. You might notice your chin tucking a little bit as you do that. And allow your chest muscles to stretch and open here. Noticing what it feels like to just rest after doing those movements. Are there parts of your body right now that feel really good, that feel nourished? Seeing if you can linger your attention with those parts. Taking in the experience. And I'll invite us into a little bit of spinal breathing as we're resting in this heart pose. This is a very gentle breath practice that encourages our mind to connect with our spine, that mind-body connection. And it also encourages our breath to elongate, to take up more space now that we've created some space for ourselves. And to get started, we're just going to listen to our breath, noticing how it's naturally wanting to move right now. Where is it starting in our body? at the tip of our nose, maybe, and maybe where it's wanting to land. Do I feel it in my chest or the belly? Letting your breath tell you for a moment how it wants to breathe. Maybe even gliding your hands in sync with your breath, just gently up and down your torso. Take one more breath, just like that. And from here, with your mind's eye, I want to invite you to travel your attention from the top of your head down to your chest, as if you're coming into the inside of your spine, down your lower back, down into your pelvis, down into the root of your spine, your coccyx. Resting your attention here at the base of your spine, you can take any movements that your body's asking for, maybe some feet shimmies or stillness. And let's try from here, inhaling from your root of your body all the way up to your head space. And on the exhale, let's travel down back to the root. Inhale all the way up to your head space. And exhale, travel back down to your root. Inhale again, up into your head space. And exhaling all the way back down to your root. Inhaling all the way up to your head space. And exhaling all the way back down to your root. Take a few more of these breaths at your own pace. Allowing yourself to be still, or allowing your body to move organically with your breath if it wants to. You might even notice your head wanting to rock forward and down with this breath. Allow that to happen if it wants to. Take about 3 more breaths, exactly like you're doing. And on your last breath, you can release that practice. Allow your breath to return to a normal rhythm. We'll come to our final Shavasana, our resting pose. You can gently turn to one side and shift your blanket so that it's moved away from your back. And I invite you to lie flat in any position that feels good in your body. And just let yourself rest. Let your body integrate all the mindful, intentional movement that we just did. And when you're ready, you can gently turn to one side and rest here for a moment. And then gently press yourself up to a seated position. Thank you for sharing your time with me, for taking good care of yourself. I hope that this brings you some refreshment that helps you sleep or helps you as you carry on with the rest of your day. I'll see you next time.